Hey, good morning guys. It's a beautiful morning here in the Ozarks. I decided to come down to a wet weather creek that I drive past all the time on my way to work, and was going to shoot a little video here and just talk about wet weather creeks. And I ended up doing some research on it and wrote down a ton more information than I planned on talking about. But since I wrote it down, we're going to talk about it. So here's a wet weather creek that's kind of behind me. Let me flip it around to you too. You can see it's pretty wide. I mean, this is a fairly large creek, and obviously it's totally dry right now, but this thing will fill up and it will move. You can get, some of these creeks will get a couple feet deep, and you can see there's actually this depression right here that I'm kind of standing by. I mean, I would bet that this could get four plus, maybe 5 foot deep right here, even though it's totally dry most of the year. So with that, I wrote some of this stuff down. Missouri actually is the 24th state across the nation for rainfall. So we get like 42 inches a year is the state average. And I think Springfield was 44.7 inches of rain annually that they get on average. So then talking about water, since it's such a great resource here in Missouri, a lot of what we have too is underground in the aquifers. So if you end up coming and living out, especially outside of city limits in a rural area, if you want to homestead or just have some private land, you're probably going to be on a well. And the well can vary in depth. I'm not going to run all those numbers for you, but I was looking at dnr.mo.gov, which talks about the aquifers here in Missouri. And there's over a dozen aquifers that are underground in Missouri, and it just kind of blew my mind. So I wrote some of this stuff down for you. So over a dozen aquifers, and they broke it down into 8 provinces underground. The biggest one in southern Missouri is the Salem Plateau, and then Springfield Plateau province is over towards Springfield all the way to Joplin. So a province is made up of several aquifers, and then the largest one is the Ozark Aquifer, and that's the one that's down here in southern Missouri. That's pretty much all your private wells are going to be going into the Ozark Aquifer. If you drill a well into the Ozark Aquifer, you can expect anywhere from 15 to 1,000 gallons per minute of water flow, but that's going to vary based on the pump that you have. But that would be the capacity that aquifer can actually provide water for you. Now that rate's going to depend on the rock formations and the water pocket and what you've drilled into. So the Ozark Aquifer, they estimate 208 trillion gallons of water, which is 42% of the Missouri groundwater supply in the Ozark Aquifer down here in South Missouri. Basically, it recharges from the 42 inches of rainfall that we get a year, and it can recharge at a rate of 14 inches underground per year. And another fun thing that I wrote down here is being 24th in rainfall nationwide. We actually beat Washington State, which was 29th in rainfall. So, you know, I don't know if a lot of people know that Missouri actually gets more rain every year than Washington. But anyway, wet weather creek, if you're looking at any properties that have one, this is what you can expect a lot of the year. But when those rainstorms come in the spring and later in the fall, this thing will fill up after a good day of rain, and it will actually start getting several feet deep, and you can expect some good flow. And some of these can actually be hard to cross if you don't have a bridge. The other thing about them is that when they do pick up, you have all these tree branches overhead that can drop, you know, all kinds of debris. You know, if there's any trash from the road or anything, whatever gets in this river, when it starts picking up in that rainfall, it carries it. So it's not uncommon to see a gigantic log that has just been carried down here, that's been sitting here during the dry season and washed up right on the side of the road that you might have to go move to get across this thing. But this is what it looks like. They're pretty big. They vary in size. This is a decent size one though. And this entire thing, I'll take a video of it when it actually fills up later in the year so you guys can see it. But I don't even know how far across this is, but this is a good. There's some Missouri water facts for you guys, and we'll shoot another video probably next week and find something else fun to talk about it. So you guys have a good one.